This is Lisa Wilson. I'm your special ed TOSA, and I'll be showing you today how you can use your Outlook calendar to organize all of your IEPs. The first thing you want to do at the beginning of the year when you get the list of IEP meetings from your school psychologist is you want to plot them on your Outlook calendar. IEPs should be made as an appointment, so let's say you have a triennial on January 14th at 2:30. Triennials, you'll click right there on the calendar, and triennials we usually schedule 2 hours for those, so I'll make sure that I put it at 2:30 to 4:30, and then I'll type triennial and the initials of the student. I want to make sure that as I'm flipping through my calendar I can see this right away, so I'm going to assign a color for all of my IEPs. If you haven't already assigned a color for IEP, you can click on Categorize and All Categories. You can find the New button and then type IEP and pick the color that you want to represent your IEPs. Another thing that you want to do is set a reminder to go off in the morning in case you have any last-minute paperwork that you want to copy, or somebody that you need to contact, anything you need to do before the meeting. Now my reminder is going to go off about 7:30 in the morning. And if my IEP is a morning meeting, I might want to set that reminder for the morning of the day before, just so I have enough time to prepare anything that I might need for the meeting. The last thing I want to do is make sure to notify all the service providers that this is the time that we have scheduled for the IEP. So I'm going to click Invite Attendees, and then I can start typing their name in. So let's say the student gets adaptive PE and I want to invite Tracy Reeve. I can find her name here. And when I push the Send button, this will go to everyone that I have in this to box. Of course, since this is a fake IEP and I don't want to confuse Tracy, I'll delete her name, and I'm ready to save it. Okay, now once I have all of my IEPs plotted, what I want to do is for my triennials, I want to schedule when to send home that assessment plan. So I get out my 60-day calendar, and I'm going to find that 60 days before January 14th is November 13th. So I'll go to November 13th. And my reminder for assessment plans I'm going to put as a task. You can see one here. So I'm just going to click into this gray box is where all my tasks go. I'm going to click in here, and I'm going to type Send Home Assessment Plan AP 4 and then the student's initials. Something else that I can do is if I'm prepared ahead of time, if I've prepared the assessment plans for my students ahead of time, I can go ahead and click this Insert button and Attach File, and attach the assessment plan right there. That way when this reminder comes up, I can just email this to the parent, or I can print it out and put it in my student's backpack, and I don't have to go into SACE to print it out. Of course, if something changes, then I would have to go into SACE and change it. So I have my task here, but I haven't set my reminder yet, and the default is usually not to send a reminder, so you're going to want to click that box and have it remind you. For my reminders, I don't mind 8 o'clock in the morning. You might want 7:30 so that it happens before the kids come to school. And then you're going to go back over here to Task and save it. And then you'll see it right here. Some other things that you need to do for IEPs are send home drafts. So if we go back to that particular IEP, you'll want to send home a draft probably the Friday before. So you can make a task for that too. Remember to always set that reminder. And I'm not going to have anything to attach at this point because I obviously won't have the draft of the IEP ready. So I'll just save that. For annual IEPs, you'll want to remind yourself when it's time to collect data for the progress report if it's not during your regular reporting period. So for this annual IEP, I'm going to set my reminder for the last possible moment when I should get that going. I can do it ahead of time before the reminder comes up, but if I see that reminder, I'd better get that going. So I set this reminder here. I put the wrong student's initials. And if I want to, I can attach the data collection sheets that I will be using for this student. I again check the Insert tab, attach file, and then within my files I can choose the data collection sheets that I like. And then when you want to save, go to Save and Close. Of course, during a regular triennial reporting period, you'll want to have a reminder there too for when progress reports go home and when to start data collection for those, so it doesn't sneak up on you. One more thing that you need to send home for the annual IEP are meeting notices about 10 days before the IEP. For a triennial, you'll probably send that home when you send home the assessment plan, so you don't need a reminder, but for the annual, go about 10 days before and plot yourself a little task. Meeting notice. And don't forget to set your reminder. And this is another one, meeting notices, where you can go to the Insert tab and attach the meeting notice. One more thing that you'll want to do at the beginning of the year when you're plotting all of your IEPs and reminders is that if you know you have a legal IEP meeting in there somewhere, try and schedule your staffing meeting at the beginning of the year before your program specialist calendar really gets full. And the way you can do that is, let's say that we've chosen Thursday, December 11th at 3 o'clock for our staffing. I'm going to create an appointment on the actual calendar, and let's say the staffing is going to last an hour. I'm going to still categorize it IEP because it has everything to do with IEPs, and I'm going to remind myself, I might want to remind myself 3 days before so that I have everything prepared for the staffing. And then when the reminder comes up, I can snooze it to remind me maybe 30 minutes before or the day before, whatever I need there. But the first reminder I like to do 3 days before so that nothing is a surprise. I'm going to invite attendees to this. And let's say I'm going to invite my administrator, and I work at Brywood, so I would invite Astrid, and I'd invite my program specialist. I'd put everybody on there, but the first thing I'd want to do is put my administrator and my program specialist. Then I'm going to get a sneak peek into their calendars to see if they're available at that time. So what I'm going to do is go to, let's see, if I have this expanded out, I'm going to see Scheduling Assistant. Now I have a window into my calendar and Astrid Ramirez's calendar. If I was busy at that time, or if Astrid was busy at that time, you would see a blue busy bar right under one of our names. And this is the time that I'm proposing the meeting. So you might see busy bars here and here. As long as there's no busy bar within this time frame, it might be a good time to schedule the meeting. Once I've seen that my administrator and the program specialist are indeed free during this proposed meeting, then I can go ahead and add the other service providers and people who I want to come to this staffing, and perhaps as I'm adding each person, only one person won't be free, and I'll be able to ask them if they can make themselves free if everybody else's schedule's tight. You can also see if one time doesn't work, but there's another time that we're all free, you can just move your meeting over to the time that you think would work best for everyone, and then you can send the meeting notice right here. So go ahead and try and schedule your staffings as soon as you know you're going to need one. Once again, make them an appointment on the calendar, and once you've decided who you want to invite, go to invite attendees, type in their names, and choose scheduling assistant to see who's not available at that time. Okay, here's the piece that makes the whole thing useful. Maybe you don't look at your Outlook calendar every day, but I guarantee you probably look at your email every day. And in your email window here, you can see your calendar pane. If your calendar pane's not there, it'll look like this, and you can just click this little arrow here, and there comes your calendar. And then any appointment that's scheduled here and here would be your appointments, and see, I have mine color coded, so I know tomorrow I have an IEP meeting, and this afternoon I have a different kind of meeting. I have appointed take notice for yellow, so I know that that's something I need to be at. And then all my tasks are down here. So there are a couple tasks that I haven't done. They were yesterday's tasks, and oopsie, because they're red, it shows me I'm behind on these tasks. And then here are today's tasks, so I still need to work on the math adoption and these other things. Then if my whole window is expanded, which I can show you. Whoops. So if you look down, you can see that it not only shows me my appointments and today's tasks, but it shows me all of my tasks for the rest of the week and next month. So it's great because I can see what's coming up, what's important, what I'm behind on, and nothing is going to catch me by surprise anymore. So I'm going to move this pane up again so you can see my this is my Outlook email pane, and you can see here this is where I'm going to see all of those things I put into my calendar. I hope this is helpful for you. If you have any questions about how to do something on your Outlook calendar, feel free to call me and I'll be happy to help you.